Alright, the Cavs have finally lost a game this year, but the worst part about it was them playing well enough to win, and they had an ideal start to the night. The pace was there for them to either flow right into their sets with drags and double drags, or to look for quick buckets in transition, and they were exploiting the right matchups in the PNRs or DHOs, but the production was not there at all. Darius couldn't make his floats, or any of his looks for that matter, whether it was at the rim, in the mid-range, or from deep, and it just never got better throughout. Even though Dom was taking a lot of tough shots, at least he was making some of his whenever he went hunting, and more importantly, so was the others, because that was a big reason for them running it back in the third. It started with Evan getting downhill or exploiting his mismatches inside, and his aggression was the main catalyst for their big 26-7 run, because that gave them some momentum to build off of. Don and Darius just started getting off the rock quicker whenever they got downhill or drew to, and that just allowed their bench to get out in transition or to make quick reads on the catch as they usually do. Craig Porter was killing on the shore whenever he slipped, Yang got easy cuts to the rim, Ty Jerome was attacking closeouts, and this quarter just epitomized why they've been as dominant as they've been. I'd usually say the Celtics were settling from deep, so those misses generated the Cavs' pace throughout, but their shots didn't change from the first half, and those quarters epitomized why they've been as dominant as they've been. It was the usual matchup hunting for their stars, with Jason doing it in the first, then Jalen doing it in the second, and they were burning the Cavs for some defensive breakdowns or someone overhelping one pass away, but more times than not, they just hit some tough trays over a contest. The Cavs were playing their usual defense of taking away the paint as much as possible, and the Celtics even looked a little stagnant because of how much ones the Jays were playing, but there's a reason why I call it 3D Garden. Sometimes it's just one of those nights, and that's what carried over into the third for them to go up 21 early before the Cavs ran it back, but the most important stretch of the night was the one to end the quarter after that. If it weren't for those last 3 buckets, the Cavs would have entered the fourth with all the momentum and potentially control of the game, but those were just enough to hold that off, so the Celtics had enough breathing room to maintain it in the fourth. They just kept that 2 to 4 point lead by capitalizing on stops or misses for timely buckets, and if it wasn't a winning play, it was just the Jays capitalizing on the right matchups as they did all night. Don made some shots late, but he was going against the clock at that point, and in a game of hunting, he just didn't have his running mate going against the best duo at playing it. Just watch the tape.
Brown spins, Brown